then I turn to in Luke 17, where the disciples asked Jesus to increase their faith. And I had shared a message a year ago or so, probably, where, I really, in studying about faith, I began to see that it's not all in, it's not so much in, oh, I just don't have enough faith, and I just need more faith. And here it kind of brings that out here in these verses. I think we get too tied up in just thinking that it's always needs more faith. Because here when in verse 5 the apostle said to the Lord, increase our faith. Seems like a good request, and you would think, okay, Jesus is going to tell them how to do it. And he doesn't tell them how that we would think. He didn't say, read your Bible more, pray more, listen to me speak, and take notes when I preach. And, none of that stuff. He said, if you had faith like a mustard seed, you would say to this mulberry tree, be uprooted and be planted in the sea, and it would obey you. So just stopping there, that's the one point is, he says that he uses a very small seed, probably like the smallest seed. If you had faith like this tiny seed, you could say to this mulberry tree, be uprooted and be planted in the sea. To me, he's bringing out the fact that it's not in the size of your faith. It's in what your faith is connected to. Who is the power behind your faith? And what he's saying is that tiny mustard seed size faith can do wonders because God, it's because of God's power, not because of your great faith. And then he goes on and gives them a little story in verses 7 to 10. And I'll read that. It says, which of you, having a slave, plowing or tending sheep, will say to him when he has come in from the field, come immediately and sit down to eat? But will he not say to him, prepare something for me to eat, and properly clothe yourself, and serve me while I eat and drink? And afterward you may eat and drink. He does not thank the slave because he did the things which were commanded, does he? So you too, when you do all the things which are commanded, you say, we are unworthy slaves. We have done only that which we ought to have done. So what does that have to do with increasing our faith? It just ends right there. And it's connected with this question. But what does he say? So to me, what he's saying here, he's using the example of a servant. So if we had a servant tonight, and we were here for supper, and the servant would feed us, what he's saying is, we wouldn't tell the servant when he comes with the food, oh, sit down and eat. We expect him to serve us. And then when we're served, we wouldn't necessarily thank him because that's what's expected of him. And so then he says, so you too, when you do all the things which are commanded, speaking to us, when we do all the things that are commanded, we are to say, we are just unworthy slaves. We have only done what we ought to have done. In other words, that is the attitude that the servant should have. Not expecting us to thank him, that's his job. And he's expected to do that. That's his job. And our job, we're expected to serve the Lord. And so, to me, what he's saying is, we are always debtors to God. We always owe him thanks. He never owes us thanks. God never owes you a thank you, even when you've had a really good day. Like you come to the end of your day and you think, man, I really did good today, God. He's not there saying, oh, thank you, you did a great job. No, you're still a debtor to him because everything you did came from him. So, how does that increase our faith? Because it doesn't matter if we're, in other words, when we have done the best, we still owe him. So that means it's not like we can earn more faith now because we've done really good. See, a lot of times we think, okay, we got to really do good, we got to, and do everything good, and we'll get a lot of faith. No. You're still owing. You're still just a servant, and you're still, everything you did was because of him. So, that also means that back here, when we're not doing everything just perfectly, he can just as well bless you there as he can when we're here, when you think you're doing top notch. When you've got all your I's dotted and your T's crossed, and you've done everything just perfectly, you're still a debtor to him, just like you are over here. So what that tells me is, when I feel like I'm really not worthy, and what happens then, my faith is kind of like, well, I'm not sure he's going to bless me, and I'm just, probably ain't going to happen. No. You should feel like that all the time. We should feel like that all the time. We're always a debtor to him. And so that's a little different way of looking at faith comes by hearing. So it's not all just in quantity of what you hear. Sometimes it's you got to hear you got to hear revelation. You got to hear something that really speaks into your life where you're at. It's not all just in reading, and reading the same thing and not making any application to your life. So, to me, that is encouraging. When we think of faith, it's been compared as faith is the funnel that the blessings of God come down into our life through. And so, if that funnel is, I don't know if you would say it's maybe different sizes, maybe, we have a bigger funnel or a small funnel, I don't know. But one thing I would say is that the funnel could have some junk in it that's blocking a lot of the stuff. And that could be one thing is, well, I don't deserve it, and so he won't bless me. And so that junk is in there, and God's blessings come in, and they might trickle through a little bit, but it's not really coming through. Like, it's just sitting in the funnel. It's not coming out because you've got it blocked. So I hope that blesses you, no matter where you're at in your life, whether you've had a good week or a bad week. You're always going to be a debtor to God. And he does not mind blessing unworthy people because we're all unworthy, every one of us. We're all unworthy of his blessings, no matter how good we are. So, I want to